Hey guys, it's Beth and welcome back to my channel, and today is Friday, and so for the next few Fridays I'm going to do a video series called Finish It Friday. So if you follow me and you saw my Crafty Goals video, you may remember that I said my focus for the rest of June was going to be finish it up instead of necessarily use it up. And that is because I get so obsessed with using up stuff from my stash. It's great and I am using it up, but I have so many works in progress of things that I've started and not gotten back to because I'm just so focused on using other stuff up, and I forget about some of my works in progress. So anyway, June is going to be finish it up, and I figured that I could help myself by reporting to you guys each Friday what I finished from my work in progress stash, and that will help hold me accountable and hopefully help me stay focused on finishing up. So I have several iris bins, 12 by 12 iris bins, full of either true works in progress, stuff that I've started and never gotten back to. I have one bin that's just a bunch of small projects that I've either cut stuff down for and just never made, or started it and never finished it. And then I have some projects where I've pulled everything out that I know I want to use for something that I want to make something with, and it's in an iris case too, and I just haven't gotten to it. So those are the kinds of things I'm going to focus on. And then I want to finish my 2012 pictures. I want to get those scrapbooked by the end of June, so then I'm just focusing on 2013. So that's kind of my spiel, and that's where I'm going. So now I want to show you real quick what I did get finished this week. The first thing I finished, and I'm actually going to show that to you in another video coming up, but I did finish off my Echo Park, the Animal Safari pad. So that was a use it up project, my 12 by 12 pad project that I've been working on, but it's also a finish it up because that one's been kind of lingering. It wasn't a very big pad, so it shouldn't have taken me very long. I just hadn't gotten back to it. So I finished that off at the beginning of this week and then focused on some of my true finish it up projects. So here is a page that I made from December 8th of 2012 is when the pictures were from, and it's of my daughter Ellie eating her very first pepperoncini. Quick story, kind of a fun story. When I was pregnant with her, I craved pepperoncinis. I love them anyway, but I ate them all the time when I was pregnant with her. So she had always wanted to try one, and so finally I gave in one day, and I'm like, all right, but it's probably going to be spicy. And she loved it, and she still loves some of the spicy peppers. So of my two, she would be the spicy food one, since that's all I ate when I was pregnant with her. So anyway, I have actually what prompted this one was my youngest was going through a paper pad that she had that's a kind of a pad that's got some Mexico prints, the blankets, some peppers, just some colorful piñatas. It's a weird pad that I inherited that she ended up with because it's got fun colors. So anyway, she was flipping through this pad and I saw this paper with all the peppers on it. And I knew that I had these pictures left to scrapbook from 2012, and I'm like, hey, can I have that paper from your pad? Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just had to run upstairs and help my daughter with something, and now I'm totally out of breath. So I just used my silhouette for my title, and then I did have an image of some peppers, and so I printed them out, and then my printer was doing something funky. I think it was low on one of my colors, and so there were some lines through it. So I went over it with my Copic markers, just because it was too kind of a bright green for me anyway. So I used a couple different shades of green and colored over the ink, just to kind of give the peppers a little bit more of a dimensional look, and then just used a label sticker from my stash. And then this is a really old journal spot, I don't know what you want to call it, from Creative Memories, and it has been in my stash forever. And so I just kind of layered it behind here and used this side of it, and then added some other little pepper stickers. So again, this was a finish it up, and it's also like use it up, like, because I am still using trying to use up some of that older stuff from my stash. So I have like 6 more groups of pictures to scrapbook from 2012. So there's light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully I can finish that this month. So the next set of projects I worked on, I, for some reason, have a whole bunch of Hello Kitty paper. And I think it was because I found it on clearance at Joann's at one point, like tons of their like character paper. Like I have Hello Kitty, a bunch of Minnie Mouse, because my youngest adores Minnie Mouse, and then just some other Disney characters. And so I had been meaning to do something with these Hello Kitty papers, and they were in a bin, and I had actually started this journal, which I'll go through in a minute, and just hadn't, like, I kind of started it. I had the cover made, and then some of the papers like folded together to use for the inside. And then I had these 2 sheets left, which I thought would make really cute notebooks. So this one I totally messed up on, because when I was trying to trim down the top, I cut into the notebook cover. But anyway, the orientation of the paper, it has the Hello Kitty, it was on the right hand side. So basically I just put these are like some little notebooks from Dollar Tree that are like 5 inches, and I just took some score tape, covered the front part of the notebook up to like right here where there was a bend for the cover to fold around, and laid it down flat here, and then used my bone folder to kind of help crease the paper, and then did the same thing on the back end where I just put score tape down, and so it was kind of perfect. And then I used my little finger blade to try and trim it down, but then got a little overzealous up here. But that's fine, because it's for my daughter anyway. So she's enjoying that. And then I had this page, which was too big to fit on one of these smaller notebooks, but I thought it would still make a cute notebook cover. And so I used a composition notebook. It's Friday afternoon and my brain is not coming up with words very well. So it's a composition notebook, and I actually picked this one up at Office Depot, I think, and I got I think I paid a penny, because every so often during back to school they'll have they used to have penny deals. I don't think they had it this year, but each week they had a different penny deal, and this was one of the penny deals, and so you could get 3 of whatever item it was that was a penny. So I paid a penny for the composition notebook. But I just took it and covered the cover of it with score tape, and then put my paper down. And I did trim this one down because I hadn't planned on covering the spine here, because the paper's not long enough to wrap all the way around anyway. So I tried to mess this one up several times because I cut it a little too short. Or I think what it was is I had pre-cut it, but then the spine here didn't go up straight. It kind of went off at an angle this way, and so I had a gap here. So I just took some of the paper I had left from this one, which was all this green diagonal stripe at the top, cut it down with my scallop border punch, and just made a little border over here. And then also, when I had put the paper on, I still somehow got crooked on this side, so I had a little bit of the notebook showing up here, and this was a scrap that I had from a bookmark I'd made, a corner bookmark I'd made before, and so I just threw that at the top. So kind of added a couple additional layers to cover my mistakes. But then I came in with Wink of Stella, and I did add some Wink of Stella on her bow and the stars, and I did that on this one too. Gave a little bit of glitter to the front. And then on this one, because the paper wasn't big enough to cover the whole thing, I did use, this is actually kind of remnants of another piece of Hello Kitty paper that I had, like a Halloween themed one. And so I just used it here on the back, and then on the inside I just used some other paper from my stash, some loose paper. So, and then I did use some scrap paper here to make a little pocket. This is from yet another pattern of Hello Kitty paper that I had. And then just for fun, I stuck in some Dollar Tree Hello Kitty stickers and then used another scrap to make a little bookmark. And when my kids get clothes or jewelry of like characters, like I'll save like the tags, or I think this was from a hair bow or a ponytail holder or something, and it popped off, and I think it was a ponytail holder because I couldn't glue it back onto the elastic. So I saved those because I figured I could use them somehow, and so I am finally using those things. And then just cut Hello Kitty out of this paper here, and then add a little heart with some Wink of Stella. So again, just in finishing up these projects, like I used up like most of 2 sheets of paper here. I used up a bunch of scraps. This was a little charm that had been in my stash for a while. So that's why I figured even if I'm shifting focus to finish it up, I'm still going to be using up a bunch of this stuff. So this one was a lot of fun. This is, I call it a junk journal, but it does have a laminate cover. So it's almost like a junk journal, a traveler's notebook style junk journal, we'll say that. And that's because the paper was fairly stiff, but I don't know, it worries me when you just have paper on something like this, and when it's full and you're bending, that the paper's not going to hold up very well. So I just made it, the cover is about 8.5 by 11 because that's what will fit through my laminator. So I just took a sheet of paper, cut it down to that size, and ran it through my laminator just to have like a little bit stiffer cover. And then for the inside, I just took a bunch of those Hello Kitty papers. Like you'll notice this is the same one as this because I had a whole bunch of them for some reason. And just kind of went through and used up the Hello Kitty papers I had, and then also went through my stash and pulled in some other papers. Some were full sheets, and then some were scraps that I was just trying to use up. So we'll kind of do a quick flip through, and I did use Wink of Stella on the bow again here. And this isn't completely done, but all I need to do is embellish a few more pages at the back, and then I will be done, so I can probably finish that tonight and still call it good. But so here, this on the back side of this page, I just took another scrap of paper to make a border over here, and then added a little flower punch from my stash down here. This is a yellow envelope that's like 5 by 7, and folded it in half, and I had trimmed off the edge on both sides just so that it could be like a pocket. And so on the inside, this is yet another scrap of Hello Kitty paper. I think this was a Christmas themed one. And I just took my envelope punch board to make the little tab here, so it's almost like a file folder, but it's only like 1/2. And then on this side, this is where like the folds on the envelope were, so I just covered that with some paper from loose paper from my stash. Here's another Hello Kitty pattern. Did use some Wink of Stella on that one. This was a scrap of paper that I had, so I just kind of used it to make a little corner pocket. And then I did a little experiment. Ellie and I were playing with some food coloring and water, and we did like just a pink, and then we did one with some red in it. And these are index cards, and I just dyed them. I don't know if I'm going to use those in here or not, but this was my original thought, was that maybe I could add them in here for like a journal spot. So this is just printer paper, and so on this side I stamped Be Brave, Be Happy. And then because it's thin, you know, it's printer paper and it's thin, I'm always a little afraid to add too much embellishment. So I just did some washi tape at the top and bottom, and then another flower punch from my stash. This is some pink vellum, and I took some decorative edge scissors and cut a little scallop border for that. This is just a scrap of paper I had, and it is glued down just on the edges, so it makes a little side pocket. This was just some green paper from my stash. And it does have like a little bit of detail to it, but it's like mostly a solid. So here I stamped "Don't Worry, Be Happy," put another scrap of Hello Kitty paper down here with a punched heart. My husband is going by the window on his lawnmower. And this is a journal spot that came on like a cut apart sheet from a really old pad that I had. And so because it matched this one, I just kind of fussy cut out. I need to glue those edges down a little bit better. Fussy cut out around the scallop and just glued it directly onto, this is another printer paper sheet, and left this side blank. Here on the back side of this paper, I just have another Hello Kitty paper scrap that I made into a corner pocket. This is from a birthday card one of my daughters got at some point, and I just die cut a circle around the Hello Kitty. So this is this project, like I've saved birthday cards with certain characters on them, clothing tags with certain characters on them, little charms from either jewelry or hair accessories that broke or things like that. And so this is finally a chance to kind of use some of those up. This paper is just a random sheet from my stash, and this is another journal. It was like a longer journal spot that I cut down from the same pad as, where'd it go? This one. Just looks like notebook, but it's got like pink notebook paper lines. And so here I just used some black polka dot washi tape to attach it on both sides and made like a little flap so they can journal and then still, attach something behind it. Here I've got two strip scraps and with some hearts on it, and these I only glued them down at the top so you could still put a picture or something underneath here. Here's like some more of that swirl paper. This is what I used most of it on, and then had that strip left that I made that side pocket on the previous page. But here, this was just a label sticker that I had that you can journal on. And then this was a little bow that I fussy cut out of another scrap of Hello Kitty paper. So this is really cool. This is a new stamp I got, I want to say it was sometime in the last few months. Echo Park had like just a 50% off warehouse sale. It wasn't a warehouse box sale, it's just like a 50% off sale. And so I picked this one up because it looks like a little notebook, but then all these like journal lines. So it looks like a notebook, like a piece of notebook paper that you would have ripped out from a small notebook. And it's from the I'd Rather Be Crafting line. But I thought this was really cool because I figured I could use it in something like this, it would be perfect for. So I used that stamp on a scrap of this green paper and made like a nice big journaling spot over here. And this is just some more of that printer paper, and then embellished it with some punched flowers. Here I just used, this is some Echo Park washi tape that I had. Didn't necessarily go with this, but it's got little girls on it, so I threw it in here. This is some more of another sheet of that green paper. And then this one I made a belly band that goes like vertically in the middle of the page. Here I used some pink paper and just made a pocket. This one I just added a strip over here on the side. It is not a pocket, it's like all glued down. It just made like a little decorative edge. This is some more of the Halloween themed Hello Kitty paper, and I was just cutting off the top of it, and then I just added another scrap of this triangle piece of the Hello Kitty word paper here. This is some more copy or printer paper, and I just stamped Always Smile at the top and at the bottom. And then on this side I stamped Be Awesome, Good Vibes, and Dream Big. This was the Hello Kitty Christmas paper that I had, and then this was from a clothing tag, and I just fussy cut out the little kitty part and just added her down here as an embellishment. This one I have a strip scrap that goes across as a horizontal belly band. This one I just took some pattern paper and glued it all the way, like it's all glued down to the back of this page here. So this one already had this pink strip at the bottom, and then so I took, this was one of the patterns of the Hello Kitty paper I had, and it just had a bunch of these little squares, you know, and so I tried to cut out the pieces that I had left from whatever I used it for before. Just tried to kind of salvage the square because it's got like a little scene in it. And so I just put it here, and so again, it's a little tuck spot. You can put stuff behind it. This one I put a border strip on and left it open for a pocket. Oh, here we go. Here's what that pattern looks like in full. So this was a smaller piece that I had, so I just kind of used whatever size it was, so it's a shorter page, but it still works. This is copy paper, and use some more washi tape at the top and bottom. Down here, I stamped here and now. This was just some Paper Studios paper in my stash, and then I added a vertical belly band, and then just a fishtail banner piece here. This is some glittered vellum. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of a glitter element in there. This one I did another pocket page. This is scraps of one of the Hello Kitty papers. This is the center of my journal, and I'm not loving how this one came out because I think I got it on a little crooked and it just didn't work out quite the way I'd hoped. But Sarah at Crafting and Relaxing talks about how she covers the center of her journals. Like, you know, this is where you can, this little bulge here is where the ties are, like from all of my binding. And so I was thinking that, because I think Sarah does like some pocket pages that go horizontal, but I didn't have enough paper left to do that. So I was thinking that I could just make a side pocket page for both sides. Again, don't love how it turned out. I don't think I did a great job putting it on there because of the little bulge there, but live and learn. So on the back side of this one, I have a horizontal belly band. We're kind of on the back side now, so it's repeating more of that glitter vellum. Just use a strip scrap down here with a square of the Hello Kitty word paper, and again, it is up so you can tuck something behind it. That pink lined pattern, another one of those journal spots that I fussy cut out. This one says remember these moments. Some washi tape on this one, and this is where this is the part that I still need to finish embellishing, so like I'll probably add a punch or something here. This one I just took, it's a scrap of this paper, and I just cut fishtails in it and stuck it there. I don't know why. I wasn't sure what else I would do with it. I didn't want to do another pocket there, but I just thought, you know, you can still put a picture there and it would make like a nice little background for a picture. Like a vertical belly band. Here is just a pocket. And then this one has another one of those like strips, and I just put glue at the top so you could put something under it. And then this is a Hello Kitty face that I fussy cut out of some other scraps. This one I used the paper to make a flap so that you could put something here, journal on the side or whatever, and you still have this whole page of printer paper. This one I stamped Seize Today on. This, I used this little scrap to make another little corner pocket, and you can see not all of my pages were the same size. So like here, this one is shorter than the pages around it, and that's because that's the size I had, and so it kind of adds some interest anyway. But this is another pocket, and these are not, I didn't gusset these, so they're flat pockets. You can't tuck a whole bunch into there, but it still gives you the purpose of junk journals is to have like hidden spots or tuck spots or things like that. So here again, just took some of that paper and covered the back side. So here again is that green paper, and I just stamped another one of those little notebook pages directly onto the page. This is the printer paper, and then I just had these little label stickers. They're not even labels, I think they were considered seals in my stash, and just added them at the bottom. some more of that little girl washi tape, that swirl paper, and I just took 2 scraps here, layered them up. This was one of the border pieces. Oh, I think it was from this notebook. I had a little bit left over, so just threw it on there too. Because what I'm trying to do is use up all the scraps from the papers that I used in here as well. So this one is another fishtail, and I did leave, you know, most of it up so that you can tuck something behind it, and then added the Hello Kitty words. This one I used some more of that lined notebook paper journal spot, and on this side it had the word smile and the pink coordinated, so I just folded it and used that as kind of how I attached it to the page, so that it's, again, you can journal and then journal on the back side or put something there. Another corner pocket. This one is just a strip. It's not a pocket of any kind because it was on printer paper. Some more of the black polka dot washi to embellish. And again, this green, I do need to add something here, but here's a vertical belly band, the pink vellum. And this time I did more of a, oh shoot. Again, the words have failed me this afternoon, but I used some more decorative edge scissors here on the pink vellum. This is some more printer paper, and I stamped Be True. I was just trying to find, I kind of went through my stamps. I was looking for like some positive message stamps that I could put on here. This one just has another pocket. Here is the other side of the envelope again. Just added some paper on here where the flaps crossed. And this one, I didn't have a scrap big enough to make the half of a file folder tab, kind of like I did on the front part of it. And so I just had some of these in my stash with these tabs that were pre-cut from cardstock, and so I just attached it and made the same kind of deal. And it's just so you know there's something in here to pull out. And then I left this side blank so far. Here's another corner pocket, and then this side. So to bind it, I should have brought it over, but this is just called like fun cord, and it's almost like what you would make an hair elastic out of. It's like a stretchy cord, but it's not as thick as what I would use for a hair elastic. But I did 3 holes here, and then you know, this is kind of like the standard what you would use for a traveler's notebook, I think. And then out of the center hole from the inside, I came through with another piece so that I could keep it closed. So like I said, there's a few embellishments that I still need to add to the back half of this, and then I'm thinking about maybe putting some white vinyl wording on the front, but I'm not quite sure what I want to put on here. I don't know if I want to say Hello Kitty or if I just want to use some other positive message. I don't know yet, because I don't even know what I'm going to do with this journal yet. I just had tons of Hello Kitty paper, and I thought this was a quick way that I could use it up. So if you have any ideas for what I should put on here with some white vinyl wording, let me know. Would love to hear it. But that's what I've gotten done this week. Like I said, the other thing, my daughter and I experimented with dyeing some index cards, and these are Dollar Tree index cards, so they're kind of on the thin side. But we did some with like a turquoise. We made a turquoise color, and then we did some pink. So I hadn't dyed paper yet, so it's something that I've been wanting to play with. And then I used up a lot of the Hello Kitty stash finishing off these projects. A couple notebooks, the junk journal, and then I got one more layout from 2012 done. So I know this may have gotten a little long, and I feel like this is kind of choppy because I've gotten interrupted several times, so I do apologize for that. But if you stuck with me through this whole video, I thank you for your time, and hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing these projects that I'm finishing up. And I thank you for being unwilling accountability partners. Like, you know, not, I don't want to, unwilling isn't the right word, but I'm using you as accountability partners, whether you wanted to or not. Like, by watching this video, you are helping me be accountable to finishing it up in June of 2020. So I thank you so much for helping me stay accountable and focused on finishing it up this month. And again, hopefully you got some ideas, something that you could use out of this video. But thank you guys for your time today, and I hope you have had a fabulous week and that you have found some time to be crafty.